hope somebody decides that they have to leave the whole thing.
Alan Saley, I'm here because I believe that global warming has to be stopped and no one's taking it seriously. At least the political leaders aren't.
Good. And what motivated you to come out here tonight?
Well, I know these folks from the Green Party. I respect them. They have a lot of integrity. And I'm part of the cause. I think that this particular kind of tar sands that this pipeline will extract are dirtier than conventional fuels, and it's a lot more dangerous to the environment. And not only that, what this represents really is that these oil companies are determined to extract everything they possibly can. And that means that, as James Hansen said, it's game over for the planet. It could result in an irreversible warming trend.
Why would you make any decisions?
We're also having a film screening if you're interested. It's at Park Slope on the 10th. Okay. Monday the 10th. All right. Thank you. It'd be really great. Okay, thanks.
Gloria Matera, Chair of the Green Party of Brooklyn. Here today with Green Party members, Brooklyn for Peace members, and other community members as part of a nationwide vigil. There are vigils going on all over the country, like this one tonight here in Brooklyn, to say no to the Keystone XL pipeline. Just a few days ago, the State Department put out their final environmental impact study and said that the Keystone pipeline, which will be bringing billions of gallons of dirty tar sand oil through the United States and Canada, was not going to have a significant enough environmental impact for them to do anything about it. In the next 90 days, there'll be hearings, and the President himself can be the one who will approve or reject this pipeline. And here today to say, reject the pipeline, make a decision that will save people and the planet.
Great. Now, if people want to find out more about the organization, your organizations, how to get involved, where should they go?
For local events, go to gpbk.org. For National Green Party, it's gp.org. Also, what we want to tell people about is starting on Earth Day and continuing for 10 days till May Day. A group of activists are all over the country are organizing the global.
You need to tell her it's not a family.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
The global climate convergence, which means we're going to say Earth Day is about saving the planet, not about corporate greenwashing. And all the way to May Day, we'll be talking about workers' rights and immigrant rights, and people can go to globalclimateconvergence.org.
I'm Rob Gaines, and I'm here to let the President know that what we've got his back to stop the Keystone XL pipeline. The State Department report just came out saying it really won't make a difference, it won't really affect the development of the Alberta tar sands. That's ridiculous. The executive of Keystone just said that if we don't have the pipeline, we're going to have to scale back on developing the tar sands. And obviously, if there's nowhere to send the oil, then that's going to affect developing the tar sands. And it sounds to me like saying I didn't rob the bank, I just drove the getaway car. So right now, that's the issue. We're just hoping that the President stands by his word to do something about climate change and says no to the Keystone XL pipeline. I think that the oil sources that we're using now are filthy enough. It is my understanding that they are even worse, but even if they were just the same, we've had plenty of oil spills and pipeline spills and truck spills and train spills, and they're pretty bad. So I don't really need to have it proven to me that these are worse. What I do know is that the Keystone XL pipeline is supposed to be pumping oil at 3 times the pressure and 3 times the volume of our normal safety standards. It's not just another pipeline, it's like a super pipeline. And if we've got spills and explosions now, seems to me that at 3 times the pressure, we're going to have more spills and explosions. So that's what I know.
I'm Mark Dunley, and I'm here today because I'm very concerned about climate change, that the President may give approval to the Keystone XL pipeline from Canada, which Dr. James Hansen from NASA has said would be game over. And the reality is that we need to keep 80% of the fossil fuels we already have in the ground, and unfortunately the Obama administration has been supportive of very extreme extraction methods to actually increase the amount of fossil fuels going into the atmosphere. Not only with the tar sands, which is what the XL pipeline's about, but also with hydrofracking of natural gas and deep water offshore oil drilling, rather than really converting to a green, clean economy of renewable energy like wind and solar, which is quite feasible. What we lack is the political will to make it occur. Recently, a professor out of Stanford, Jacobson, did a study to show how New York State could convert to 100% clean renewable energy within the next 10 to 15 years, and that includes cars and buses as well. And you see what they're doing in Germany and some of the other European countries with solar. You understand that the United States is really dragging their heels. And when I was in college, I had this little sign on my dorm room wall, and it said, it was from Ralph Nader, and it said, "We will have solar power in the United States." This was back in 1970. "We will have solar power in the United States once utility companies figure out how to attach a meter to the sun." And the reality is that we continue at the federal level to invest tens of billions of dollars in subsidizing pollutant forms of energy, nuclear power, oil, gas, coal, rather than really investing in clean renewable energy. Solar, is getting to be cost effective. Wind is cost effective, but a lot of these fossil fuels are cost effective because we've given them so much subsidies.
If you want to find out more about your organization or how to get involved, any websites, Facebook pages, anything you go to?
Well, gpny.org is Green Party of New York. There's a Green Shadow Cabinet. Jill Stein recently ran for president, has a lot of information on it. Certainly 350.org has a lot of good information. Friends of Earth, Greenpeace. There's lots of information. What we need is a political will.
We're here today in the freezing cold because we really believe in something, and that is that we want to save our planet from the avaricious greed of the oil and gas companies, which apparently will go to any end possible in order to increase their profits, even to the point of poisoning our planet, polluting our drinking water, which once poisoned is poisoned forever, and despoiling our soil and our farmlands by building one more horrible pipeline. The history is replete with these pipelines breaking and then spilling, and this particular cargo that it's carrying this time is tar sands oil, which is particularly filthy oil, very, very dangerous. If it should break out of that pipeline, which they assure us will never happen, then that water, those groundwaters, those soils will be lost for a long time to come. I'm saying that where we are at this particular time is a very critical juncture, because now the ball is in the president's court, so to speak, and he has said and campaigned on protecting our environment and protecting our planet. Well, here's an opportunity to do so. Climate change is a very real factor, and it's very real, and he said so in his State of the Union speech of last week. So why then build another pipeline which will increase climate change and global warming by increasing the carbon footprint of our country? Why invest more money in oil production when we should be taking our money and investing it in renewable sources such as sun and wind? And what has happened right now is the State Department has certified the safety of this pipeline, but that study is mired in controversy because many of the parties of the committee that did the study have connections to the energy industry, the gas and oil companies, so we don't feel that that's an objective study. Senator Kerry, if you want a legacy of protecting this planet's environment, you should say no to that study, and President Obama, you must do the same thing as well. And we are going to be out in the streets of our cities and towns demanding that this pipeline not be built. It's a danger and a threat to our health, our safety, and our lives. If you don't want to join something, then pick up pen in hand or telephone and dial or push today and call your state legislatures, demand that there be no fracking in New York State, which is going to threaten our drinking water right here, and call John Kerry at the State Department, and call your legislators in the Senate, in the House, and tell them how you feel, that this is not an issue that should be compromised on.